Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, in this video I'll be doing Before I Go Wrong, UFC Vegas 59, Hill versus Walker, or yeah, UFC Fight Night, Hill versus Walker. This one's like a whole week ahead of time. And it's really just for fun. It's posting it, it's for funny. I got a fight card that hasn't even happened yet, but just gonna jump on it ahead of time and just post it, just to post it, make it posted, just to be out there. And this is really just me straight off the top, giving my predictions for every single fight on the card as of right now. These are not my lock pick. I mean, these are not my set in stone picks right here, because obviously I might look at this and say, I see this differently. I see that differently. So don't be saying, oh, this is the pick you went with. This is just me off the top, speed running the card and giving my predictions. And probably still with like 80 or 90% of these going to be my actual picks, but right now it's just a speed run. So UFC Vegas 59, Hill versus Walker, let's go. First fight we have in the welterweight division, Nicholas Dalby versus Claudio Silva, and I'm going with Dalby here. Both guys up there in age. Dalby's 37, Silva's 39. No real big height or reach advantage or anything on either side, but Dalby is more experienced and is more well-rounded, and I feel like he's comfortable enough and skilled enough on the ground to be the stuff, or address Silva's grappling wherever it takes place. Obviously, he don't want to be no bad position, with his back taken, mounted, anything like that, but I feel like he can avoid those positions. Wrestling's decent enough to stuff Silva and keep him on the feet. Don't feel like he's a much fleshed out fighter, but Dalby's not no finisher or nothing, so it's likely going to be he's not really a known finisher. He's not a great finisher. He don't have a great success rate of finishes, so it's most likely going to end up being a decision. Silva will be game, but I still feel like Dalby's just more rounded and even more game for the fight, and stylistically, this fight favors him with high confidence. Next fight we have in the flyweight division, or women's flyweight division, Mandy Baum versus Victoria Leonardo. This one is a battle of two women who aren't necessarily good. I just think Baum is a little bit better. Average or low confidence here, just off the top. Baum, I just think she's a little bit better. I feel like Leonardo had like no defense, lacking severely in technique. Baum, both lacking in skill and talent. Baum is a little bit better, and Leonardo just a little bit worse. That's as simple as goes. So ain't gonna delve too much in that because just running through it. Mandy Baum via decision in that one. Next fight we have in the lightweight division, Jai Herbert versus Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson hasn't fought since 2020. Got knocked out by not Tony Martin. What's his name? Anyway, I forget the name. But that guy at 45 right now. Now he's fighting Jai Herbert. I feel this one. I feel like Kyle Nelson got a good punch to him, but that's about it. Decent enough wrestling, but nothing like that's all it is to him. He got some decent stuff to him, but nothing that really stand out. I feel like Jai Herbert is the much sharper striker. Only I worry about Herbert is some of his defensive tendencies in his chin, but I feel like he should be fine against Nelson. I feel like he should be better everywhere. Just didn't allow Nelson to get off too much and just keep him on the back foot, keep him at the end of his punches. And Jai Herbert should be able to win this one relatively easy. And I definitely gonna see a stoppage in this one, probably like a first or second round TKO for Jai Herbert. So in this one, I got Jai Herbert via second round TKO. Then the next fight we have in the flyweight division, Muhammad Mokaya versus Charles Johnson. And how I see this one right here. Charles Johnson is a skilled, well-rounded fighter. Well-trained, like solid fighter, but Muhammad Mokaya, I feel like should win this one. Charles Johnson's wrestling defense could use a little bit of work, or a good bit of work, especially to be going there with Muhammad Mokaya. It could use some work. And I feel like he's going to give it that work, but right now I just feel like Muhammad Mokaya, matter of fact, from now and for always, Muhammad Mokaya like younger. What's his name? Johnson like 28 to 31. Mokaya like 22, 23. I feel like Mokaya younger, the talent, so it ain't going to be a case where, at some point, Charles Johnson going to necessarily catch up to him. But he could give him some good work. He'll give him like decent work. But I feel like Muhammad Mokaya probably going to either get like a late stoppage or just grapple him to a decision, mostly mixing takedowns and be able to control him mostly to a decision in that one. But Johnson's a solid fighter, but Mokaya just a world-class, top-tier talent on the rise right now. Now to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, Makwan Amirkhani versus Jonathan Pierce. And right now I'm leaning Makwan Amirkhani. Pierce is the favorite right now, but I'm leaning Amirkhani. Like Pierce, he wasn't really beat. Like his fights aren't really appreciated. Or I'm saying where they aren't going up in value, they're going down. They're depreciating. They're going down in value right now. Omar Morales not looking all that great right now as a win. He just beat that fighter that's trains at the Rufus Sports. All the Rufus fighters, a lot of them fight similar. Got the same Pettis build. They only got good wrestling defense. They got a decent jiu-jitsu, but they ain't really got the wrestling like that. So all he did was beat a stylistic matchup. And then, Kai Kamaka not looking all that great right now. I'm not saying he looked bad, but he's not looking great. But definitely Omar Morales depreciating. The guy that changed out of the Pettis gym, young fighter who ain't really there yet. And McCann Americani does well in fights when guys just grappling. It's not like Jonathan Pierce has shown no amazing striking, like striking relatively even. Matter of fact, McCann Americani has probably proven to be even more dangerous on the feet. He had that moment where he landed flying knees, hurt people on the feet. His striking a little bit unorthodox, but has been shown to be more effective, or at least more damaging, more threatening, more threat on the feet than what Pierce has shown. And grappling, I feel like McCann Americani, wrestling is very underrated, judo is underrated, grappling is very underrated, and Pierce is going to play him in grappling. And he just came off a win over a better grappler, or at least better wrestler in Grundy and Americani did, and tapped him out. So I like Americani here. Pierce is going to play him in his world, unless he tries to, change it up. But most likely, people have tendencies, they're going to be confident in their skill set. They're going to try it, take it to that realm. Even they know that's really the worst, that's the best and worst. That's your best area. Oh, no. It's the best and worst. Because that's the area you like to go, but it's also the area he likes to go. But this guy is more dangerous on the ground. And last time Pierce really fought a guy with a submission game, he got embarrassed by Joe Lozon. And Joe Lozon had been looking shot for so many years. He came out there and turned that man into a presso, slapped him back of the head, folded his elbow behind his knee, did whatever he wanted. He turned that man to Play-Doh. So McCann Americani could potentially do similar or worse, potentially. But I'm liking McCann Americani submission. I'm not going to say the round. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to be I'm going to say first round, second round. First round McCann Americani submission with this one currently. Might shift, but right now McCann Americani first round submission. Next fight we have in the featherweight division, Nathaniel Wood versus Charles Rosa. And Rosa, just a pure fade material. Nathaniel Wood hasn't been active. I feel like he's a much more talented fighter, much more substance on the feet, underrated wrestling and grappling and submission skills. I feel like, and also coming up from 35 to 45, should have a speed advantage, a little bit of a technical advantage. And all Rosa does kind of throw little flaily kicks and run, though nothing without no real effectiveness behind it. Poor wrestling, poor takedown defense. He doesn't do the best against grappling. But anyway, I just feel like Nathaniel Wood should be able to score some takedowns on him. I feel like Nathaniel Wood should be able to outstrike him. I feel like Nathaniel Wood should be able to beat him everywhere this fight takes place. Probably going to be in a decision, but if he wants to make a good comeback, he should put a stoppage on Rosa. But not too many people have really stopped Rosa. Only about one person in the UFC has stopped him, maybe more. But I'm kind of thinking only coming to my mind is like one stoppage, and that was Shane Burgos. And that was late round stoppage. Late stoppage in the third and final round. So he's not a guy that usually gets run. So he gets picked apart at times, but not really gonna stop much. So it's probably gonna be a decision of Nathaniel Wood and a clear one at that. Better in every area, more technical, faster, sharper, more tools, better fight IQ, better everything for the most part. For the most part, relatively speaking. Then our next fight we have in the lightweight division, Mark Jacasey versus Damir Hazovic. In this one, I'm going with Jacasey. When I look at Hazovic, I have never been impressed with him. He eked out pulled off some decent wins here and there, eked out some wins, but the guy has never truly impressed me. Like, his wrestling ain't good. He really got no good grappling. And we got no good pace. Ain't really a great striker. I feel like Jacasey could beat him everywhere, but Hazovic has a way of, pulling off wins. But I feel like Jacasey is a pretty safe pick here. I'm not saying he's the safest pick on this card. Matter of fact, this card has a lot of picks I feel are pretty safe for the most part. This is a better card than some of these cards in the past weeks. But that's what I'm saying. By the other card standard, this is a very, very safe pick. By this card standard. By other cards, this is a crazy safe pick. By this card standard, it's not the safest pick because there's so many better picks on this card that's safer than this one. But yeah, I feel like Jacasey's far more athletic, far more technical on the feet, and he can mix them more. I feel like Hazovic wrestling, all that great offensively or defensively. So I feel like he's much faster, much sharper, and should be beating him. I feel like Hazovic wins this fight by being tougher. Having to kind of come from behind, having to keep pushing, have to make it ugly, and then breaking Jacasey down. But I feel like Jacasey should win this one pretty handily. I ain't gonna say by stoppage. Jacasey has little spectacular moments, but for the most part, he's not that consistent. He's not that true star. I don't really think he's going to become it, but hey, he's still got time to prove it. But I'm going to say decision. Clear decision, but a bit lackluster, I feel. Landing some strikes on the feet, not really being materialized a finish. They're probably scoring some takedowns here and there, and just capping the fight off with some grappling to coast to a decision. Yeah, Mark Jacasey via decision in this one. Next fight we have on our main card, 205 division, light heavyweight division, Paul Craig versus Volkan Oezdemir. And I'm going Oezdemir here. I feel like Craig's striking defense has always been negligent. He's always been a choke artist. He's kind of coming in, blossoming now, putting some wins together. But even his last fight, he barely won. He was knocking on death's door, was able to pull a submission off from the jaws of defeat, which isn't the first time he did that. But against Oezdemir, Oezdemir a choke artist too, so it's like you can't really trust this one. This is Not a high confident at all and never will be. Probably average confidence at best. And right now I'm leaning Damir. Whether I'll change that or not, but right now I'm clearly leaning Damir. I feel like Paul Craig is very defensively negligent on feet. He's not the greatest offensive takedown artist. He could try to pull guard, but I feel like Damir now is, is more competent on the ground than that. So, and I feel like Damir will be able to find him in the first round, be able to touch him, probably be able to put him away in that first round. I don't feel like Paul Craig takes damage the best, and I don't feel like his defense the best. So he ain't defending shots that well, and when he gets tagged, he don't take them well or respond that well. Probably turn into a shrimp on the ground looking for submission. Hopefully Damir is smart enough to just let him stand back up or just throw his shots and get away and not like fall into guard and play the grappling game because he could definitely get tapped out. I feel like in the first round he should mostly be safe unless he get caught with something. He should be safe in the first round. But my biggest concern with Damir in this one is the later rounds. He has a tendency to fade and has not really ever fixed that tendency. So I see him do better in the second rounds later on, but I still have not seen him go 3 good rounds in a competitive fight. I have not seen that. So that's a concern. But right now I'm boking Damir via first round TKO is my prediction currently. Craig lack of defense, choke artist history, and lack of chin. But hey, we had Charles Oliveira overcoming, so maybe Paul Craig can be the light heavyweight division's Charles Oliveira potentially. But I'm not saying he'll be Oliveira. I'm not banking on that. But hey, maybe he can recreate some semblance of that or create some semblance of that. The next fight we have in the women's flyweight division, Molly McCann versus Hannah Goldy. I'm an interesting matchup. I feel like Molly McCann is a very, very confident pick on this card. But hey, like, she's probably one of the shortest fighters that Hannah Goldy has fought. And Hannah Goldy has lost all the fights, but usually it's a taller woman. But I feel like Molly McCann, they're both short, stocky women. But Molly McCann has accomplished a lot more, been a much better fighter than Hannah Goldy hasn't really accomplished much anything. Who has she really even beat? And even her last fight, she barely won. And like, opponent just kind of fell into a submission. So Molly McCann should be comfortable enough. Should be out striker, much better boxing. Not like Hannah Goldy's some knockout artist. So it kind of comes down to a numbers game, experience game. McCann gonna throw more punches, and she's gonna do more when needed. She understands the clock. She understands what needs to be done to win a fight, and she has done that to win a fight at a much higher level. So she should be able to beat Hannah Goldy pretty handily in this one. Maybe even get a stoppage. But right now I'm gonna lean decision. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say stoppage. I'm gonna say like a third round stoppage. Just volume, just landing shots, breaking them down, scoring takedowns, and just positional domination. Just landing ground and pound her after breaking her down over the 2 rounds. Third round just probably put her away, just overwhelm her. So in this fight, I got Molly McCann via third round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Nikita Krylov versus Alexander Gustafsson. And I'm liking Gustafsson here. I'm picking Gustafsson here. I'm gonna say decision. Gustafsson's an amazing fighter. Hasn't been looking amazing in a good number of time. Good number of years. But Krylov, he ain't got the size, he ain't got the reach, he ain't got the skills over Gustafsson. Gustafsson's a much better boxer, much better striker. Krylov's unorthodox and weird and wacky. But I feel like Gustafsson has much better grappling. But yeah, I don't really see nothing too spectacular about Krylov in any area. I feel like he's unorthodox, weird, and awkward. But I don't know. This is a fight. If Gustafsson can't beat Krylov, he should retire for good, in my opinion, or go to BKB or something, or try his hand out box and try to throw Jake Paul's name out there, Logan Paul's name out there, make some money real quick. Do something like that. But you can't beat Krylov. It's a big concern. Krylov really ain't got nothing for him. Takedown defense is there. Not theirs. For the takedowns are there for Gustafsson. Striking is there for Gustafsson. Just really gotta avoid getting caught up in Krylov's awkwardness. Like, just keep him in your jab, use your distance, use your movement, and you should beat him pretty handily. When you start getting aggressive, lock him up, drag him to the mat, and you should be able to hold that position and dominate him. Kind of similar to how you beat really matter of fact easier than you beat I'm talking to him like I'm talking to him, but easier than he beat Blaydes some years ago. Just taking him down whenever striking wasn't there or when it wasn't feeling a little bit wonky. But I feel like he could beat him on the feet the whole fight, 3 rounds, potentially stop him. Or I could go the safe route, mix up on the feet, chain the takedowns, and control position and beat him to a decision. I'm not expecting Gustafsson to come out and look amazing. I'm not. But I am expecting him to get his hand raised. And I feel like this is a high confident pick. Even with the layoff, even with the inconsistency. But when you look at people he lost to, Adam Smith, I feel, is a much better fighter than Krylov. Krylov could have a puncher's chance against Andy Smith just by how wild he is and potentially be able to do something. But really, I would give Andy Smith a high confidence to beat him. Werdum is probably one of the best grapplers. Matter of fact, is one of the best grapplers to ever compete in MMA and at a heavyweight. So the people he lost to, you can't be like, oh, he lost to this guy. Like, who did he lose to? Andy Smith is looking pretty good for himself right now. Werdum might have been a shell of himself, but Werdum still, even as a shell of himself, has some of the best BJJ MMA has ever seen. So you could kind of get on rag him about these losses. And obviously, John Jones, the greatest light heavyweight of all time. And no matter who pound for pound is, no matter how much you hate him, probably top 3 pound for pound, top 4, top 5 at the very least pound for pound all time. So Andy Smith might be one of like a questionable loss on that resume, but Andy Smith still holding up and not too far from a title shot, and had already gotten a title shot before now and close to another one right now. So can't get too much on him. But so comfortable decision for Gustafsson here. A little bit awkward, but a comfortable decision nonetheless for Gustafsson, I see there. Next fight we have in the lightweight division, Paddy Pimblett versus Jordan Levitt. And with this one, I'm going Paddy Pimblett. I haven't seen much from Jordan Levitt. He got some grappling, but I feel like Pimblett can match him. Or, well, I'm gonna give Levitt a little a string. I'm gonna give him umbrella or whatever. I'm gonna hang out a coat hanger or whatever case for him. I'll give him jiu-jitsu. He'll have better jiu-jitsu. I will give him that by slim mark. He'll have better jiu-jitsu. Wrestling is pretty trash, so I can't say that. Pimblett wrestling not all that great either, but I give him better wrestling than Levitt. So Levitt's jiu-jitsu is a little bit better. I give him that. Pimblett's wrestling is a little bit better. I give him that. But you just do some equations, some algebra, take away this grappling, like the grappling cancels out. Jordan Levitt hasn't shown much on the feet outside of throwing some little kicks just to fill up space and fill up this, like the points. That's pretty much that point pad and twerk. That's what he does on the feet. Those some little weak strikes on the feet. Hands are like almost non-existent, and some weak little kicks just to add points. There's no real threat at all on the feet. Whereas Pimblett will be the bigger, longer man. After he's shown a threat on the feet, has power in his hands. So I feel like Pimblett should win this one. I feel like he could potentially get stopped. It's probably going to be a lackluster decision. Matter of fact, it's probably going to be a stop. Matter of fact, it's going to be a stoppage. I think all Pimblett's fights so far have been finishes. I don't see it being nothing spectacular. Pimblett just not a guy that doesn't put on spectacular performances. Well, I mean, some of these things be spectacular, but they don't be clean. That's what I'm saying. His performances aren't clean, so still probably be a little bit ugly. Probably gonna be some grappling there. Levitt's probably gonna have a little bit of moments, but I don't feel like Levitt has what it takes to take it all the way. So probably gonna have a little bit of moment just because Pimblett's not that guy. He might feel he's that guy, but he's not that guy. Then eventually, second round, started stuff the easy takedowns to Levitt, probably reversing positions. Levitt probably trying to hit some sweeps or submission, and Pimblett just standing back up, land some ground and pound, then let him stand up, then probably just land some hooks on him against the cage and put him away late second round. So in this fight, I got Paddy Pimblett via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in our co-main event, Jack Hermansson versus Chris Curtis. And how I see this one in the middleweight division is, Chris Curtis has shown time and time again in the UFC that he does well with these guys, and that's just Jack Hermansson is. Jack Hermansson's strike has looked pretty horrendous as of late, and never looked particularly great except that run when he went on. When did that run get ended by? I got ended by Cannonier, but he beat Jacare on that list and some other guys. And that was when he was really looking like a big threat. But since then, the Cannonier fight, he has not looked the same, to be honest. So I feel like Chris Curtis should be able to defend the takedown. And then, be addressed. I don't feel like he's going to be in such concern about anything Hermansson does. Chris Curtis is like one of the people that's been around the block. Yes, he has been a journeyman. Probably still could say he's a journeyman until proven otherwise. But on the best streak of his life. But he's one of those people that they might have a good number of losses, might not have amounted to much in their careers, but these guys will give anyone work, for the most part. They got good takedown defense. They're comfortable in these positions. It's not the fact that a lack of skill, it's just a lack of that last little factor that some guys have that get them over. And I feel like Chris Curtis is starting to establish that factor to get over. I'm not saying he'll be no champion or nothing, but he at least is proving to be much more than people have set him out to be. But anyway, I feel like Chris Curtis is going to be comfortable, confident. He has experience, trains with a lot of good guys in the grappling department, and be able to address the wrestling Hermansson. And if he does it in position, I say, even Hermansson gets his back. I only got area I worry about if Hermansson gets a mount. Hermansson probably has one of the most dangerous mounts, pound for pound, in all of MMA. So that's a dangerous area. But avoiding the mount and guard against the cage, maybe even back mount, Chris Curtis is solid there. I'm not saying he should get in there. I'm saying worst comes to worst, I feel like he should be the weather the storm. Stay calm, stay composed, do the proper submission defenses, and work to get back to standing, get back to distance. Then for the most part, to see him just tearing Hermansson's body up, stuffing the takedowns, catching uppercuts when he starts to level change, and box him up. And I really see him getting stoppage. Chris Curtis going to see him stopping Hermansson, stuffing his takedown, shutting him out, and then landing heavily on him, ripping the body, ripping him top, and putting him away. And I'm still second round. So in this fight, I got Chris Curtis via second round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the heavyweight division, Curtis Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall. And my question with this one is, this is a fight that should be already decided, but I'm really on the fence on it. I'm only on Aspinall right now, but I very much could lean Blaydes at the end of all day. But I probably am going to lean Aspinall at the end of the day but it's really some factors I have not seen from Aspinall. He trains with Darren Till, who has horrendous wrestling. Yes, Aspinall has BJJ, but where's his wrestling at? You want to look at his takedowns aren't the prettiest, aren't the most textbook. His jiu-jitsu is pretty solid, but his wrestling looks a little bit patchy. So Blaydes is a guy that can test that wrestling and also test his ground game from off his bottom. So Blaydes will take him down, put him on bottom. That's a whole different ball game. I feel like Aspinall is clearly the better striker, and Blaydes don't want to play with that too much. But Blaydes, I feel, can hold his own with Aspinall enough, especially if there's a grappling deficiency. He can get him some takedown, like hold his own, maybe touch him a couple of things, just enough to set the takedown up and not play with the fire too much, score some takedown, and maybe Aspinall just a dead fish off his back. I can imagine Aspinall being that guy that just flying up arm bars and triangle chokes. I really can't imagine that. Maybe on the tired Blaydes, but I just feel like Tom Aspinall at this level is probably mostly a top grappler. I don't think he's a great guy off bottom. You know, some guys be more dangerous off bottom, they are on tops, but I don't think Aspinall is that, especially heavyweights. Heavyweights really just be dead fishes a lot of time on their back. So with Blaydes put him there, that could be, open up an Achilles heel for Aspinall, at least one weakness to Aspinall. But right now, we have not seen it. It's all speculative. But I feel like that's an area that could very much be very weak for Aspinall, especially training with Darren Till. And being a stablemate with Darren Till, both guys being much raised up in that same gym, could likely have similar flaws. Different strengths, but could have very much have similar flaws. Different strengths, similar strengths, but we can very much have similar flaws as well. But yeah, I'm gonna take Aspinall here, and I feel like within the distance. I'm not gonna say around, but within the distance. I just feel like Blaydes kind of chokes in the big moments, and this is a big moment. I feel like he's gonna fade in the big moment, but he could potentially have a golden gun here, or he could have a trick of his shoe, or have a angle here that could get him to win. And that could be very much the wrestling, which we have not seen for Aspinall. Either way, we're gonna learn after the fight where his wrestling is at, unless Blaydes just chooses to strike and gets knocked out before the fight gets to play out more. But if the fight plays out, we will definitely, and Blaydes after he uses his wrestling, we will see where his wrestling is at. But where Aspinall is. So right now I got Tom Aspinall in the distance, within the distance, but I gotta look into it more to see where Aspinall's wrestling is for me to fully confirm this pick for Aspinall. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.